Your brain is building a world that does not exist. Right now, in the quiet moments between your tasks, before you fall asleep, or while walking down the street, you drift away. You rehearse conversations that will never happen. You win arguments against people who aren't even in the room. You construct elaborate catastrophes, imagining losing your job, being rejected, or facing sudden ruin, feeling your chest tighten and your heart race over something that exists entirely inside your own skull. Or perhaps you go the other way. You imagine ultimate victory. You visualize a stage where everyone applauds you. You imagine proving every doubter wrong, receiving validating praise, and being revered for an achievement you haven't even started working on yet. And when you snap back to reality, an hour has vanished. You feel exhausted, drained, slightly hollow. You tell yourself it's just a harmless habit, a silly quirk, daydreaming. It isn't. What you are experiencing is one of the most powerful, dangerous, and deeply misunderstood cognitive mechanisms in human psychology: maladaptive simulation syndrome. Your mind is running a high-powered simulation engine, originally designed for human survival, completely unhooked from reality, and it is quietly stealing your life. 1,000 years ago, the samurai recognized this internal phantom world. They knew that a warrior who fought battles inside his own head before stepping onto the field would be exhausted before the first sword was drawn. They built a framework to slay the phantom world and anchor the mind back to cold, indisputable reality. If you stay with this video until the very end, you will understand the exact neurobiology of why your mind invents these fake scenarios, why it feels so addictive, and how to harness this immense mental engine to build a life in the real world instead of drowning in a fake one. This is the psychology of those who imagine fake scenarios and how to break the spell. Section 1. The Simulation Engine. Why the mind builds phantoms. Let's dismantle the illusion at its root. Why does a human brain, the most energy-expensive organ in the known universe, waste precious metabolic energy creating stories that aren't real? The answer lies in evolutionary biology. Your brain did not evolve to make you happy, fulfilled, or productive. It evolved to keep you alive. To survive in an unpredictable environment, your ancestors had to predict the future. They had to ask, what happens if a predator comes from behind that tree? Or what happens if the tribe rejects me? This capability is hosted in a specific neural network known as the default mode network, DMN. The default mode network is the region of your brain that activates whenever you are not focused on a specific task in the outside world. It is your brain's internal storyteller. It connects past memories with future projections to run what neuroscientists call mental threat simulations. When you imagine a fake scenario where someone attacks your character or a project fails disastrously, your amygdala doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. Read that again. Your amygdala, your brain's ancient threat detector, cannot distinguish between a real physical danger in front of you and a vividly imagined scenario inside your mind. To your nervous system, the fake fight with your boss is real. The imagined argument with your partner is real. The catastrophe you visualized in bed at 2 a.m. is real. Your body responds by flooding your bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline. Your blood pressure rises. Your muscles tense. You are putting your nervous system through a war zone while sitting completely still on your couch. Section 2. The Dopamine Trap. The two types of fake scenarios. There are two primary categories of fake scenarios, and both are designed to trap your brain in an addiction loop. Category 1. The catastrophic scenario. Fear-based simulation. This is where you imagine worst-case scenarios: being fired, getting into confrontations, public embarrassment, or betrayal. Why would your brain do this? It is called hypervigilance. If you grew up in an unpredictable environment, or if you have experienced sudden trauma or betrayal in the past, your brain learned a dangerous lesson. If I am surprised, I get hurt. Therefore, if I predict every bad scenario in advance, I can protect myself. Your mind creates fake catastrophes as an emotional shield. You suffer in advance, so that if the bad thing actually happens, it won't hurt as much. But the tragic paradox is that the bad thing rarely happens, yet you suffered the physiological trauma of it anyway. Category 2, the heroic scenario, validation-based simulation. This is the opposite side of the coin. You imagine giving an incredible speech. You imagine being discovered for your hidden talents. You imagine confronting an enemy and delivering a perfect, witty line that leaves everyone speechless. This is where the brain weaponizes dopamine, When you imagine achieving something great and receiving public praise, your brain releases a surge of dopamine, the exact same neurochemical reward you would get if you actually achieved it in real life. This is called premature cognitive gratification. You get the reward of victory without ever having to endure the pain of the process. And here is the trap. Once your brain learns it can get cheap, effortless validation through fake scenarios, its motivation to do the hard work in the real world evaporates. Why spend 3 years building a real business when you can close your eyes and feel the emotional high of being a successful founder in 30 seconds? Fake scenarios are a neurochemical cheat code that leaves you bankrupt in reality. Section 3. The Samurai Reflection. Kage-Boushi The Shadow Figure. In feudal Japan, the samurai recognized this psychological trap. They called these mental phantoms Kage-Boushi The Shadow Figure. A novice warrior would sit in his tent the night before a battle, imagining every way he could be struck down. He would picture the enemy's blade piercing his armor. He would imagine his comrades falling. By dawn, before the battle had even begun, his hands were shaking, his heart was depleted, and his focus was shattered. He was defeated by the shadow figure long before he met the real enemy. The master samurai taught a fundamental law of mind warfare. The blade in your mind cuts deeper than the blade in your hand. Do not bleed for a fight that has not been called. They realized that the human mind has a tendency to mistake thoughts for reality. To combat this, the samurai developed a state of radical presence known as Kan-ken no metsuke, seeing with the double eyes. Kan is seeing the physical reality in front of you, the room, the sword, the opponent. Ken is observing the internal movements of your own mind without getting drawn into them. They learned to let the shadow figure appear, recognize it as a mere cloud of smoke, and immediately return their awareness to the cold, hard wood of the floor beneath their feet. They did not try to violently suppress the fake scenario. They robbed it of its power by refusing to give it their presence. Section 4. The Neurological Cost. Dissociation and identity loss. What happens when you spend years living inside fake scenarios? The consequences are far more severe than simply losing a few hours a day. 1. Neural pathway atrophy. Neuroplasticity works both ways. The neural circuits you fire are the circuits you wire. Every time you engage in an hour of fake scenario building, you strengthen the default mode network and weaken your central executive network, CEN. The brain region responsible for real-world execution, working memory, and sustained focus. Over time, sitting down to read a book, write a report, or do deep work feels unbearable. Real life feels boring and grueling compared to the vivid, high dopamine theater inside your mind. 2. Chronic nervous system exhaustion. When you constantly simulate arguments, failures, and catastrophes, your body stays in a state of low-grade allostatic load. Your adrenals are drained. You experience unexplained fatigue, brain fog, and chronic anxiety, unaware that your own mind is wearing your body out. 3. Identity dissociation. Eventually, a gap opens up between your real self and your simulated self. In your mind, you are confident, sharp, articulate, and victorious. But in reality, you remain passive, silent, and stuck. The wider this gap becomes, the more painful real life feels. And the more painful real life feels, the deeper you retreat into fake scenarios to escape it. It becomes a self-reinforcing prison. Section 5. The Protocol. 4 steps to slay the phantom world. How do you break this cycle? How do you take the massive creative energy powering your fake scenarios and channel it into building an unshakable real life? Here is the 4-step grounding protocol. Step 1. Apply the mushin label. The moment you realize you are drifting into a fake scenario, whether it's an imagined argument or a heroic fantasy, stop immediately and label it aloud or in your head. This is a simulation. It is not real. Do not argue with the story. Do not try to finish the fake argument to win it. The second you argue with a phantom, you have lost. Simply name it. Simulation detected. This instantly shifts control from your emotional limbic system back to your conscious prefrontal cortex. Step 2. The physical anchor, Kan-ken. Shock your brain out of the default mode network and force it back into the central executive network by engaging your physical senses immediately. Feel the weight of your feet firmly pressing into the floor. Pick up an object on your desk and feel its texture, temperature, and weight. Take one deep breath in through your nose, exhaling slower than you inhaled. Your brain cannot maintain a vivid internal simulation while fully processing high-resolution sensory input from the real world. The physical anchor kills the phantom. Step 3. Extract the hidden signal. Fake scenarios are not random. They are distorted messages from your subconscious mind. If you are constantly simulating arguments and confrontations, your subconscious is telling you that you are holding back boundaries in real life. You are staying silent where you should speak up. If you are simulating heroic victories and public applause, your subconscious is telling you that your current life is lacking challenge, ambition, and meaningful recognition. If you are simulating catastrophes and ruin, your subconscious is telling you that you feel ungrounded and unprepared for the future. Do not live in the fantasy. Extract the signal. Ask yourself, what real-world boundary or action is this scenario asking me to take? Step 4. Convert simulation into micro-execution. This is the ultimate samurai principle, transmutation. Take the emotional energy generated by the scenario and channel it into one immediate physical action in reality. If you imagined a fake argument about standing up for yourself, right arrow, write down one honest boundary you need to set, or send the email you've been avoiding. If you imagined a grand victory, open your laptop and execute 15 minutes of uninterrupted deep work on your project. If you imagined a catastrophe, then organize your workspace, check your finances, or do one practical task that increases your real-world security. Replace the fake reward with a real micro-win. Section 6. The resolution. Living in the real world. The mind that has the power to construct entire vivid universes inside your head is not a broken mind. It is an extraordinarily powerful engine. The problem was never that you have a powerful imagination. The problem was that the engine was driving you, instead of you driving the engine. You do not need to destroy your ability to visualize. You simply need to stop using it as an escape hatch from discomfort. The next time you catch yourself stepping onto the fake stage inside your head, remember the samurai standing on the field. The phantom fight offers cheap victory and fake safety, but it leaves you empty. Real life, with all its mud, its difficulty, its uncertainty, and its friction, is the only place where real strength can be forged. Stop fighting battles in the dark. Anchor your feet to the earth, drop the script, and start building in silence. If this breakdown helped you see your own mind more clearly, leave a comment below with the phrase, "I choose reality." Subscribe to Inner Spark for more deep psychological breakdowns on human ambition, cognitive mechanics, and high-performance resilience. Keep building. We'll see you in the next breakdown.